Most companies are happy to spend 200 and get 200 back. Average would be you spend 200, you get 100 back. We're doing spending 200, getting $1 million back. Do we need attribution, or is that just something that people have been told?
What are some metrics that you would suggest to replace some of those classic B2B marketing metrics that we look at that still sort of satisfies that we need to hit goal of some kind? Because I think it's a total shift in how we're thinking about things.
Mm-hmm.
So what are some kind of easy bridge metrics that you can start turning their focus towards?
Mm-hmm. And so you mentioned it in your question, which is like, this is a fundamental shift, right? It's not like we're going to stop measuring click-through rate and we're going to change it to this metric. That's not how it works. And so it is a fundamental shift. The way to really get this done, if you want to do native content, if you want to optimize for native content consumption, if you want to have a heavy dark social strategy, which by the way is where all B2B buying is happening right now. And so if you want to have those things, you actually need to fundamentally change everything about marketing, which looks at it and thinks about attribution differently and looks at marketing based on actual business results, not vanity metrics. We help people get aligned on the idea that we're going to look at all of the marketing program spend and then just measure that against all of the marketing pipeline and revenue. And if we spent $200,000 in marketing this month and we generated $5.5 million in pipeline and we win that pipeline at 30%, 25%, whatever, you can do the math. Like we spent $200K, we're going to get $1 million in revenue, and that's a 5x ROI. So let's keep doing it. And if that's where we're at, do we need attribution on that? Most companies are getting if they'd be happy to spend 200 and get 200 back, and we're doing spending 200, getting $1 million back in revenue, do we need attribution? Or is that just something that people have been told? And so if we think about total marketing spend against total marketing outcomes, then from there, it's marketing's job to figure out what are the signals that I'm looking for to decide which parts of the 200 are the most effective and which parts of the 200 are the least effective. And some of those you can use software. Some of those you need to use other ways to measure marketing to look at it. And when it comes down to the idea of just looking at paid social, the KPI here is that we have 10,000 target accounts that we're going after, and we just distributed a message about this core feature or integration or differentiating value proposition or whatever, and now all 10,000 accounts know more than they did yesterday about the stuff, and we spent $1,000 on it. If you look at just the total cost of doing one sales rep demo, from a business standpoint, it costs more than $1,000. And so instead of doing one demo for that cost, we're going to tell the entire market something. We need to think differently about what a modern B2B buying process is and what and when used to be coming from a sales rep that can now be executed through marketing, right? So instead of having a sales rep do a demo for 30 minutes with one buyer that most likely is not in market to buy right now, instead of doing that, what if we rethought what a demo was? It's been a demo for a long time, but what if a demo wasn't, we sit with a sales rep and we do this? What if it was instead that over a 30-day period of time, we give someone one piece of information every day? And then 30 days later, they know way more about our company, our category, and our product, and they probably learned it more effectively than sitting on a demo with a sales rep. And instead of telling one person, we told everyone. And so the KPI that I'm going for inside of paid social is, are we effectively communicating with our market? Is it worth the price that we're paying to communicate with them relative to other things that we spend money on to communicate with people, which the number one is your sales team? Is the marketing dollars that we're doing producing enough revenue to justify the activities? And that's really the hard part for a lot of companies, is actually deploying the money and driving enough results to just justify it that clearly, spend over total results.